others. Oh, they're doubting themselves. Oh, they're an evil, awful, evil person. Fuck that person. They're a doubter. You're a doubter. You're bringing us all down. You got a negative energy. I don't know. Why aren't you positive like me? You should be able to find equanimity. Oh, you must not have compassion. I mean, I know that you were just moved around by everything in the karmas of life as a complete non-doer, as just an expression of the perfection of oneness. But here, let me judge you. Let me judge you as if you've done something yourself personally. Oh, but I know this is impossible. That not even I can do this. I can't do this to me, so how can you? You're in doubt? Well, beautiful. That's wonderful. Doubt it out. We can doubt together. You want to doubt together? We can doubt together. We'll be doubting friends. We'll have a good time with doubt. We'll be angry together. You want to be angry? We'll yell at the world. Ah, I'm so angry. But we'll do it with our voices. It'll be fun. We'll express ourselves. And at the end, I bet we won't really feel like that doubt or that anger anymore. That we were just really afraid to express what we were feeling. And then once we felt it, there was an expression to come after it. And it was the one of great understanding and great compassion, and one that actually understood a great wisdom from our life previous. That we understood that every moment had led us to an amazing, perfect blessing. And so we've all seen this in some way, usually. And so through this amazing expression, maybe we don't see this in the most phenomenal ways that I may be expressing, maybe just subtle manners, subtle forms, or maybe we just have a little bit of joy coming to our life. Oh, it's beautiful. If we become conscious with this practice and expressing ourselves honestly, not in a way to affect things, attack things, control things, can enslave things in any manner, not like anything has to do anything for us or any of that. We just find a way to express, just truly, just purely expressing, just authentically expressing for no real reason or intention, just expressing as expression. You know, this is a way to extremely transmute energies. Now, your expression could be angry, it could be hateful, it could be this, it could be that. Fuck these people, fuck that thing, damn this life, why me? That's completely fine, no problem. You know, no point of the universe is in judgment like we are. We think there's some God up there like, oh, you said fuck, that's it, 20 lashes. When you die, I'm gonna give you 20 lashes. Reminded me of my father. When we get home, you're going to get it. When you get to heaven, that's it. You're going to hell. You're like, oh, no, why? This is the worst. Why is this happening to me? And we're like worried about it. I said, fuck. I said, shit. I got angry. Now the community is going to excommunicate me. I showed that I could be angry. I thought I was going to be a positive light on the world constantly. Now look at me. Oh, I'm doubtful. I'm confused. But yesterday, I was confident. And I liked when they saw me as confident. They liked me as confident. I boosted their confidence. But now I'm doubt. Oh, I can't let them see me now. I must hide away in my dark shade until finally I am worthy of being seen again. Excuse me. I am very doubtful now. This is the worst day of my life. And that's fine. No problem. I kind of dig that. I kind of like that. If you're doubtful, go ahead and be doubtful. A lot of times, people actually do a different thing. I am not doubtful. And they are doubtful. I'm not doubtful, but they're doubtful. Yeah. I'm no doubt in the world. Whoa! And it's very difficult, this, very agitated fight occurring with this. So expression can help this. Just allowing ourselves to feel, allowing ourselves to be anything. Maybe we're a crazy person. All right, fine, go ahead, own that. Maybe we're a lonely person. Great, be a lonely person. You're the only one, so there you go. You're never with anybody. You're all by yourself, motherfucker. Ha! Oh, well, just go ahead and find acceptance, and set that shit up to the law of impermanence, as Osho would say, as many people have said, perhaps. The moment you accept it, boom, it's gone. It's been happening for me, and a lot of times I accepted Maui as my home. I knew that soon that meant that I was going to leave there, and I did. Every time I accept something, the law of impermanence changes that shit. It's almost like, well, maybe if I want to keep this with me longer, I won't accept it. And then you accept not accepting, and then it changes. You're like, oh, fuck, what's happening? We're going to a lot of fun places in motion right now. Volatility only happens because we're unable to speak. That's right. Speech. Speaking our wisdom, our view, sharing it with one another, or with ourselves, even. If we were able to speak, we would see a lot of different courtships completely finished. all just through what is honesty, authenticity, but not in a way of attack or defense, is that will perpetuate what we call duality or illusion. It will perpetuate the lie, enabling it, empowering it, feeding it, even though it is not. It's just feeding it within the minds of ourselves. And it's constantly then not allowing us to express with all of our being in oneness, because we only accept certain frequencies. We accept happiness, we accept joy, we accept gladness. Some people even accept sadness because they're kind of, sad tears are sweet, But there's all kinds of energies that are our actual full embodiment of our frequency we don't accept because we decided they're demons. And so they appear as demons. But as it turns out, they are wisdom energies. They are our most amazing selves in equanimity with all the other frequencies moving within us. A phenomenal, amazing showing of what is perfect consciousness existing in the most limitless and enlightened manner. But we don't let all these things come into us, We don't allow all these things to be, and that's no problem. No big deal. But if we ever did want to, there's all kinds of radical ways to bring us into the realization, the embodiment of these energies. There's all kinds of things. And one of them is through the most simple, selfless act of self-expression. Radical self-acceptance, radical self-expression. Of course, again, I would say that you could do these things without certain rootings, and they would probably lead you to some kind of crazy reverberation or dissonance. An understanding of what everything is completely necessary for me to have come into these things in a sturdy fashion. To understand unconditional love for all beings everywhere without one exception, and not just conceptually, but in a way that came to the embodiment of this for all beings everywhere without one exception, to where I will never try to harm myself. I will never do this. I will never look at another being in a way that would cause me to wish to harm them actually. If I did for a moment's time, it would very quickly show me the logicalness of my actual persona. Like, oh, whoa, what was happening there? You got lost in some story or something. You're like, oh, geez, I can't believe that. You almost caused yourself harm. That would be crazy to me at this point. It would be illogical. Make no sense. And so there's all kinds of reverberations impossible for me because of this. And realization is what you need to seek. The belief alone, the saying that you agree with something, that's very beautiful. That's wonderful. Okay, you agree with it. Now agree with the entirety of it. Agree with the fact that you cannot have it, you cannot know it, you cannot have any kind of information that says you are the embodiment of this thing without you literally coming into knowing. Without you literally having a direct experience and realization that takes you from your point of focus to a completely different one. And for that to happen, you're going to have to lose your entire identity. You will be dead, as you know yourself now. And still, you will be more alive, as the same person you've always been, than you have ever seen yourself before. And it's really not more, actually, or not less, actually, coming into realization with how you and everything has always been. You set intention, you match the Bodhisattva's intention in Tibetan Buddhism, then you can, coupled with medicine ceremony, coupled with, in a way, a prayer like of Christianity or something, but a prayer to the source of source, the lights of lights, the hosts of hosts, to whatever it is that you imagine to be the greatest, most wise and compassionate, all-pervading thing, I would say that's the thing, to give permission to write your path, And for me, it united me with the heart of all that is, with all of consciousness, to equanimity entirety, to the heart of me, to every chakra system and every energy existing purely in equanimity as simultaneously as my own body directly, not over there, but right here, as my body, as like an eyeball of my own, like my own flesh, And there was no going back from that point, Once that point had happened, there was no going back. Whoever Ryan was before that was completely gone now. And there was still some stories left over of Ryan, and those would be filtered out too. And those will be filtered out through more medicine ceremony. More medicine ceremony, more searching for answers, more. Deeper. Plenty of times people have told me to stray away from medicine ceremonies. Say, oh, no, you must do this by yourself. These are people that have never gone the whole path. They're trying to tell me something about what's good for my path, and they have never themselves walked the whole path. Why are they telling me What's good for me? What, they're just feeding me their fear? Oh, you stopped here because you thought that thing you're telling me now. Okay, thank you very much. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye. But every time I've welcomed medicine ceremony back into my life, it's been the most powerful and most beautiful thing. It's brought me into a place of responsibility to where I do not have medicine ceremony very often now. I can feel the energy around me very much. I'm having medicine ceremony every day without medicine ceremony. And still I have it every day. But when I do still have medicine ceremony, it rises my frequency to such a place where I could not be doing this around everybody. This would cause a huge rise in frequency and the collective resonance that would cause too much dissonance for the resistance level of the circuitry of beings around me. And so it's very important for me to be able to feel very intently now. And I think that was always the case. There was times and places, direct times and places. And so I've had a lot of medicine ceremony though, and I've gone a long period without medicine ceremony on my path. And whenever I welcomed it back, that's when I had the largest rises. And I still sit here in patience. I could do my best to have medicine ceremony every day. And I have done that before. Now I just follow and feel it raises the energy so potent already. If I had ceremony right now, if I started to rise my frequency right now in this place, it's possible that I would rise it too high just right now without medicine ceremony, with bringing myself down with the other medicines I use, that it may cause me to have to leave this area because of how much it can no longer handle that rise in frequency. When we understand non-separate reality, this will make much more sense. There's a lot of amazing teachings, a lot of different processes that need to come through. I myself am starting to feel kind of sick in my head. I get dehydrated a lot, especially when I'm channeling. I don't know. Must use a lot of, make a lot of heat happen or something, a lot of energy move through. Because I get crazy, insanely dehydrated, like, for no reason really. That's it. But so dehydrated that it feels like my brain, my computer might shut down. I might fall down or something. And like it would feel like the shutting down of a computer even, like. Crazy. Oh. Thank you for sitting with me. Water, Mini Wachone, water is life. Water's for the moment. I like to eat and drink and stuff, I like to trust my body. I just like it, people don't want me to do it. They want me to do this thing or do that thing. I trust myself, I don't have judgment of myself. I trust my brain's not a sinner. I trust that it wants me to eat things that are the highest efficiency, not only for me, but for the benefit of all beings in the path that I'm on. I imagine it's the same for everybody. I meet a lot of people that have to change their diet because food starts interacting with them wrong. But food only started interacting with them wrong after somebody told them that food was interacting with them wrong, and then they agreed with it. And now food interacts with them wrong, but before that they had none of that. Well, you were children, you could eat anything, whatever. I know a kid that would say that those things hurt their belly. I know a child that would say that. Why? Because their parents taught them that. So we go ahead and we can teach ourselves all kinds of judgments and agreements and make ourselves these weak little limited beings that have no ability to transmute energy, as if everything here isn't us, actually. We decide that thing is like that and that thing is like that. Then we wonder why these things interact with us like those things in which we distinguish them to be. Then we might see somebody else who's sitting next to us that doesn't have them affecting them like that. Why? Why is that person better than I am? Why can they do this but I cannot? Am I so weak a person? I just have a bad immune system. What is it? I have crazy judgments. I have crazy beliefs. When I take an energy into me, I think of it in a wrong way that don't allow it to come into me. Don't allow it to actually come with me. It creates this crazy dissonance between me and the object. And I feel it. It's my mind, my agreement, what I decided here, when I observed the quantum and I created it in the manner in which it would interact with me. If I saw everything as the perfect Buddha, would it all interact with me that way? That'd be weird, right? Ramana Maharshi said, if you stop seeing the world to be imperfect, it would. So it's like saying, only your view makes the world imperfect. And I say this is very true. And it's just the view, it's just the perspective. The world is already extremely perfect, already an amazing majesty. Already do we live in the Garden of Eden. Already are we sitting here feasting at the table of nirvana, free from samsara. While we are sitting here not knowing it, not being aware of it, sitting here acting as if there is something to do, something to fix, something to create to be better than previous, based on the belief that it be imperfect. And this is a crazy force and control that is completely moving in the realm of illusion. You're completely believing in a lie. You can continue to perpetuate that lie with your actions. But that lie is a lie and it's not real. And so for somebody who knows what non-duality is, there's no reason to even stop you from perpetuating your lie. It's whatever. Go ahead, perpetuate it forever. I don't know. If you're doing it, it's perfect. We need it. If you're not doing it, then we don't need it. If it's relevant, it's here. You realize what everything is inside of this mirror. Everything is for itself and never against itself. Then you realize that every single action is here completely on purpose for the highest benefit, for not only one being, but for every single being entirely. And also for each one being. So for each being individually and together. Because it has no choice. There is actually no individual. It must reflect completely equally. It has no choice. There cannot be an imbalance. The world would implode upon itself. It's not going to occur. Soon we're going to create all kinds of artwork and designs and flows and just a lot of amazing things to show what it is that's occurring. And not only will we do this with painting, with art, with music, with sound, we'll do this with moving around. We'll show these things very clearly, what it is to have the frequency of trust pervading, to move completely in trust and surrender and allowance of all the flow, which is all actually essentially yourself. All of this is self. A lot of the times we see everything in oneness and we think this is all of self, we're the creator of all of this. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's true too in some way, but I'd say it's more from my experience and what I've seen and all the many ways that I've seen it. Yeah, this guy is here in some manner, but it's more just that this guy is not really here in the manner in which this guy might think himself to be here. It's everything here outside of this guy in this mirror that forms this place in emptiness, that allows it to express in these ways, moving itself by thousands of hands, moving every one of its motions in all the possible ways that it's moving. When we understand non-separate reality to be one quite solid reality that moves with itself in a great multiplicity in unison, that for this piece to move, this piece and all of the pieces in between them had to move to allow it movement, and they had to move together or else there'd be some kind of weird jagged, hitting of solid objects. And so everything just very amazingly moves with itself. Kind of like we look at the stars in the universe, the galaxies, the pictures that have been painted of these things. Since we've decided that the symbology of these things are possibly fake, some people are flat earthers and things like that, which is kind of silly. I've left the atmosphere, I've gone to other planets, but you could say it was just an imagery and that it's something I created. I mean, just like I could say about many other experiences of people that I've perceived myself and have no knowledge of because it's not me who directly experienced them. So it'll be up to me to just believe something, and I'm not really in the realms of believing something, but I am the realms of hearing information, taking it in, and just kind of being aware of that information for when I possibly have an experience of my own that maybe relates with it, that would allow further clarity to be brought, and then also a further studying to see that something has commonly had this similar understanding, or maybe I come to a place where I understand it so clearly that I'm able to help the other being with their understanding. That's wonderful. All kinds of wonderful things. Seeking realization, seeking the self, seeking here internally first. We think we have to fix anything in the world. For some of us, maybe we will do that, and so I will perceive that we did have to in some manner. But as it turns out, we don't need to. And that doing the work here first is the thing that helps everything first. And so as soon as we're able to leave all of our attachments to helping all of these things in the world for what is actually going to help the world, the realization of who we are ourselves within, then we'll be able to add that radiance to the collective resonance. And that's what I'm focusing on myself personally. If anybody wanted to come learn with me, if anybody wanted to work with me or work in any kind of way, we'll find each other in the flow, whether we find ourselves in this way or not. This is all the flow, though, so there's no separation from it. But, anybody that would want to do that, they would have to, I don't know, be already dedicated and actually be able to hit those realms of reflection, those kinds of places of frequential resonance. Anybody can come. I don't know how long they'd be able to work with me. You have to be extremely open And really, this thing that I'm saying right now is pretty much all that I can tell you. I mean, I'll say many other things. There's a lot of different focuses that can come in. There's a lot of different ways we can work through all kinds of different thoughts of dissonance and theories. Because after even I awoken myself in my frequencies, I went through great amounts of learnings, the spiritual ego, purist mentalities, diets, and all kinds of different things that people are having. All kinds of controlling dissonances within themselves. It's going to be really difficult for them to realize limitlessness while they're believing themselves to be so limited. And so I work on unlimiting things. I work on bringing things into effortless flow, to things that are really willing to realize itself fully and leave all of their attachments and leave duality behind. Not leave it behind as if it's actually a real thing that could be left behind, but kind of come into what is true and what is divine, what is right on time, and really understanding ourselves in the place of rhyme and reason, really seeing that what we are truly. I'm into that. And so something's really dedicated to that. They leave all the world or whatever it is. They're really just tired and not satisfied with their friends or their family or all these mundane things, going to the store just to eat a favorite food over and over again, going to the movies just to distract themselves with something, whatever it is. If you're tired of these things in the world that are not satisfying, maybe we can do something. But I'll tell you right now, there's really just no reason for you to ever come to me. No reason for us to really even speak unless it happens. You got at any time, in any moment that you wish to, just go straight into medicine ceremony and set the intention that matches the Bodhisattva's intention, the intention that I've given you previous, that I've shown you just a little bit. I ask for myself, who am I? What is my purpose? How can I be of benefit? Is there any way that I could be of any benefit to even just one being? I offered myself to that. I said, please, I give permission to the light of light, the host of hosts, the God of Jesus, the thing that Buddha related with, whatever it is, I give permission in this thing to write my path and bring me into divine alignment with my divine life purpose, that I may be able to be of benefit to even just one being, possibly. Any being. No matter what it meant for me, if it meant go to a hell realm or be completely deleted, whatever it meant for me, if I was to be deleted from all of existence, whatever it was that was of the highest benefit, I surrender to that. For me to help, even if it meant nothing for me at all, no matter what it meant for myself in purpose, no matter what. I just wanted to be a benefit. That's all I wanted. Who am I? What is my purpose? I gave permission, that I could help them, for the benefit of all beings everywhere, without one exception. If you have one exception in there, you say, all beings except that guy. That's not going to work. Except for that frequency, except for the hell. We don't want to help hell. Well, no, you got to help hell too, or you got to help the demons as well. You got to help all the beings. Every being entirely. It's the only way to actually experience and understand equanimity. Exercise the demons is crazy, but the only way. If you cannot do this, it will not work. Jesus was, to me, in a way, kind of an embodiment of this energy. He actually didn't seem to hate the demons. There was the people legion inside the man, and they say, well, instead of going to hell first, can we just go out and go into those pigs? Could we just do that instead? He's like, all right, yeah, sure, go ahead. Go into those pigs. No problem. But he appeased their request. Why? Why would he have compassion on the demons? This is people would be like, oh, this is crazy. Why would you possibly ever have compassion for demons? Nobody really notices that part of the teaching. But for me, I thought that was a very interesting part shape. I was like, oh, he let them go into the pigs. Why? Why did you just immediately banish them to hell or get rid of them or whatever it is? Why let them go into the pigs? What did the pigs do? The pigs immediately ran into the fucking water and killed themselves. It was like a terrible, horrific scene. Why would he allow that to be caused? I have to imagine that he knew everything to be perfect, that he knew equanimity, that he didn't have any preference, that he didn't think that the murderer or the thief was greater than the righteous man or this or that. He didn't think that anybody was greater or lesser than one another. He constantly exuded this kind of a spiritual resonance, same as the Buddha or any other ascended master. I love the Buddha and Jesus. These are the two I know about most. The other guys are all great, but I don't know too much about them. And I feel like their wisdoms lead to a funny place, just like Jesus's. Jesus's wisdom has the ability to lead you into freedom, but most people have been led into dogma instead, so it's very sad. But he does say, the troubles of today are enough. He does tell you how to be in the now moment. He does say, don't worry about, the troubles of tomorrow. The troubles of today are enough. And that's beautiful. If only, we would have understood about, how to live in the now moment in trust and in faith. Because he told us, if somebody had just the faith the size of a mustard seed, they could ask a mountain to move, and it would move, or to jump, and it would jump. And people are like, no, 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 no. But it's true. What he said is true. They're like, well, you show me. Well, you go ahead and you tempt God yourself, just kidding. Blasphemy. Anyways. I don't call consciousness God. I don't call it anything that would be related to an image of patriarchal manner. I don't see it to be a certain gender. I see it to be an androgynous and limitless and boundless thing. Something that as soon as I image will probably change from that image into another image. A very illusory, ineffable type sequence. But has formed itself in many ways. So there are really amazing enlightened forms to it. And there is an amazing skeletal structure to all of consciousness, an orderly manner to what appears to be chaos. And I will be wishing to channel this through for all of consciousness in this video formation and in many other formations. I do see these to be extremely advanced level teachings, and I'm unsure myself when watching them if they're actually something that people can vibe or resonate with in this timeline. But, that's probably how Jesus and the Buddha felt, and anybody else. Not to relate myself in those ways, but also not to not relate myself in those ways. There's no reason to take myself to be lesser or greater than anything else inside of all that is. I am a limitless expression of oneness, and so are we all. I am the same as they, and they are the same as me, and we are the same as one another, and neither one of us